Hello, beautiful creators. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Wanted to chat with you today about always staying connected. Marie Sheldon likes to use the term always be connected, so we can use the acronym ABC. We got to learn our ABCs. So how do we always stay connected? There was not a lot out there when I went to do the search initially, and took some time to meditate on this one. And there's 11 tips that I have for you. Pretty exhaustive list, but I'm sure there's going to be more. So make sure you let me know if there's anything that I forgot. I'm sure you'll be happy to correct me. But here we go. 11 tips. The first one, like nobody's going to want to hear it, so we'll just get number one out of the way. Get up earlier. Go to bed earlier, get up earlier. And what I find is certainly over the Christmas holiday or even the summer when the kids aren't in school, it's so easy to just fall into the later and later and later wake up times. And what I notice is the later I wake up, the more frequently I feel behind the entire day, or I feel like I haven't accomplished enough. And so to stay out of stress, yes, get up earlier, but really those important times of connection, I find that even 3 a.m., 4 a.m., if I happen to wake up at those times, those are really prime times that the veil really seems to be thin about that time. And I also do notice around 3 p.m., while there's that 2 to 4 natural sort of lag that happens in energy, I'm starting to notice that may also be a great time for meditation. Also a time in the day when it seems like the veil is thin or it's easier to connect. So getting up earlier, even if it's 10 minutes earlier, set that alarm, get up earlier, and then as you get up earlier each day, you'll want to go to bed earlier each night. And so forcing yourself to try to fall asleep earlier when you haven't gotten up earlier tends to be a little difficult because you're just not that tired. So go easy on yourself and sort of, you can ease into it 5 minutes at a time, 5 minutes earlier each day, something like that. And use that time to meditate, to connect, to do breath work. Breath work is amazing in the morning because it really gets your body going. It cleans you out. It gets your nervous system ready for the day in a good way, not too amped up, but prepared. And it also energizes your immune system, gets your immune system going. So as you get out into the world, you're fully protected. Highly recommend breath work, definitely for the mornings. Create a daily focus. You can use a daily inspiration book. You can use a daily devotional book. You can use just your own intention for the day. I absolutely love Josh X and his work around the 7 virtues. So setting a virtue for each day, especially with my kids, 4 and 6-year-old little girls, they are awesome at reminding me, hey mom, you're not being patient right now. And you can see my redness. I'm honest. So yeah, get your coat on, right? Like, be patient, mom. But yeah, picking a virtue for the day and allowing that to be your focus. And it's really fun. You'll see how often it comes up throughout that day that you're presented with an opportunity to practice whatever virtue you've picked that day. And Josh X will tell you that the 7 virtues are the key to life. That if you can really master those virtues, that you will notice that you sort of come online and that your magic comes alive and you're more able to operate this beautiful Ferrari of a vehicle that we've been gifted. So beautiful. Create a daily intention. Number 3, empty your mind. So set reminders to recenter, to take 1 minute of quiet time. Put your phone down and try to reduce the long stretches of screen time, especially if you sit in an office for 8-9 hours a day, or if for some reason you have to use your phone for work and you're on a screen all day long. Set reminders, maybe every hour, every 2 or 3 hours, to just have a centering moment and to reconnect. I like once an hour. I just have a reoccurring alarm with an hour. It's actually a 55-minute snooze so that I can snooze it. And then every 55 minutes, I take 5 minutes. And, there's going to be times where I'm like, I can't right now. And so I go 2 or 3 hours. But at least we're ingraining that subconscious habit to connect often. Putting the phone down is so critical because we're constantly filling our minds with stuff. And the monkey mind doesn't really need more to think about. It will go crazy on its own. So we really have to consciously have an intention to empty our mind, because the empty mind, the quiet mind, the still mind is what has space to allow that connection. And if it's so full, there's no room. And so we have to make space, right? Make room in our minds for our divine source creator to come through and communicate with us, so we can hear our intuition and we're acting from a guided place and not a reactive place. And that is so, so critical. So if we could do that every hour, that's phenomenal. Number 4 is create a go-to list of ways to raise your vibration. So raising your vibration is super, super critical. And when we have those moments of falling down, getting frustrated, getting angry, maybe we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, we're going to need that go-to list of what works for you. For some people, it's dancing. For some people, it's singing. For me, it might be journaling, just getting it out, right? We all have the things that we know that work for us, and so we have to kind of put that in our back pocket and always have that available. And it really does help to have a little sticky note in your wallet or in your back pocket, because in those moments you're like, I don't want to, right? I just want to feel pissy right now. And when you pull that piece of paper out, it just makes it more real. It brings it outside of you. So it's kind of like a friend going, you really need to do these things, instead of having to rely on our own discipline, which is one of the virtues that we should be exercising. So guard your inputs. Remember that thinking, seeing, hearing, all of these things are inputs into, call it a computer system, right? Your subconscious mind is a program, and we are constantly programming ourselves with the thoughts we think, with the commercials we allow in, with the songs we listen to, with the words we speak. All of this is programming. It's constant, either reaffirming the current program or breaking down the old program, grow or die, right? So we're always moving in one direction or the other. And so we really have to guard our inputs and make sure that everything that comes in is beneficial and with intention, and that there should be no negative inputs. Constructive criticism can be delivered kindly, and if it's not positive. And so we really need to be careful who we allow around us and what words we allow into us. Remember that everyone has, an emanation of their current frequency. And so even just being in the vicinity, I understand if you're in an office, that's difficult to control, but act with intention as much as you can to really guard those inputs, both verbally as well as physically. Choose your words wisely. Number 5, choose your words wisely, right? Your words are magic. In the beginning was the word. We are creators, right? So everything that you speak becomes your reality. And it's so difficult when we get stuck in these thought habits. And I'm sure I know I have videos about thought habits. I'll try to link that above here. But there's neuroscience that thoughts truly are things inside the brain as well as become things outside of you. And so you are speaking your truth in every moment. So you have to choose those words with intention. What do you want to create? Only think about what you want to, well, I don't want to say only. We have to process negative things. We have to process negative emotion. But if you're constantly telling a story, or you have a theme of complaining, or a theme of I can't, notice those I can'ts that come out of your mouth. And I feel a little bit strongly about this right now, because there's a client that I've worked with recently, and it just, in every second, in every moment, I can't do this. I can't, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I already tried that. That didn't work for me. It's just pervasive. And I should love her to death, right? I love all of you, no matter what your challenges are, but it's so crazy how we can have these blind spots. Just like, in our rearview mirror, we just can't see it. And it, it happens to be a very strong thought habit that her brain just naturally goes to because it's been so reinforced. So just really, really, maybe even record yourself for a day. That one just popped in. Record yourself and see what do your conversations look like. Use your Zoom, right? If you're in a meeting and you can hit that record button and the person on the other side doesn't mind, go back and watch. What are your dominant themes? What are the words you're using? Are you using positive words or are you using negative words, right? See if I can come up with an example. Right, I could explain the weather today. It's cloudy, it's dreary, it's dark, it's cold. It's Wisconsin, we don't have a lot of daylight, right? Okay, so there's one set of descriptors. Same day, same person describing it, right? I can say, well, it's actually pretty bright now because we've gotten so much snow. And it's beautiful the way the cool wind is blowing the little almost flakes of glitter through the air, right? We can choose words that essentially describe the same day or the same thing that have a positive outcome. And so every negative word and negative phrase that you choose, look at that and catch that and say, how can I see this differently? How can I shift my perspective? Choose your words wisely, because you are creating with your words. Your words are your magic. So be very, very careful with the words that you choose. I mentioned this before a little bit, and it bears repeating. Number 6, choose your company wisely. As much as you have a choice, choose it wisely. If you go for a walk at lunch with somebody who only spends that hour complaining, no matter how much you love them and no matter how much you want them to be happy, I would not suggest walks every day. That just is not going to help you. And you're likely dealing with your own stuff, and now you're having to take on their stuff too. And so we really need to be careful how much time we spend complaining and sort of dwelling in the yuck, right? And recreating more of it. If it comes to a point where you need to spend an hour, especially an hour every day, complaining about something, that is something you've got to do something about, right? That needs changing. That is your red flag, your indicator that, hey, something's not right here. We really ought to work on that. So don't allow hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, weeks and months and years on end of complaining. Fix it. Do something about it. You have a choice. Yes. We could also, I think, filling my airwaves notes kind of got cut off here. So I'll revisit the last one, but choosing filling our airwaves with positive things. Oh, here we go. That is number 7. Just a little bit of interruption in my bullet pointing here. Fill your airways with positive reminders of faith and surrender, right? So if we watch movies, and they can be fun, it is really nice to disconnect. It's actually healthy to disconnect and kind of turn the brain off sometimes. But if it's, things that we're allowing the input regularly, then we need to be choosing wisely and consciously. So notice all of the songs on the radio, especially pop culture right now. The language is horrendous. And don't think that your subconscious doesn't hear those words, even if your conscious mind can't figure out what they're saying, because it knows and it does. And so remember, their words are becoming your programming. And so we really want to be careful. Only listen to inspirational music. I know it's hard to come by. There's not anything on the radio right now, but there is plenty of stuff on YouTube, and you can look for, and if you want to know some of my recommendations for more meditative or uplifting, positive, spiritual music, I guess you would say, let me know. I have go-tos, right? I have things, people on YouTube or musicians that I go to fill my airwaves. When I want something, I need something to listen to while I'm cleaning, right? I need to make sure that person is going to be inspirational or uplifting, positive in some way. I love inspirational videos on YouTube too. So lots of good stuff out there. And your environment is also very important. So a messy environment is going to equate to a messy mind. So make sure that we keep that as part of the inputs, right? Part of the airways. Clutter definitely is a dysregulated frequency. Yes, we have that ability. We have kind of that second layer of thought that can happen in the back of our mind. And so we need to fill that with gratitude, awe, appreciation, constant affirmation, right? I know that I'm cared for. I know that this issue will be handled. I know that it's not my job to fight these battles, that God in the universe does it for me. And so I just need to trust and believe and say thank you. Thank you for taking care of this. I know that I don't have to worry. And so that needs to be kind of the backtrack in our minds at all times. Remember that astrology and tarot can take you out of the moment. It can become an effort of the ego to try to predict the future. And I'm not poo-pooing astrology and tarot necessarily, but there's an addiction or a habit that can happen in it where we're constantly looking for evidence that everything's going to be okay, when really what we need to be doing is staying in faith and in trust and in the moment, right? Because astrology and tarot takes us into the future, and it will create anxiety, especially if you're reading too much or watching too much, and then there's conflicting information, and we're looking for the comfort in what we are supposed to get from our Creator, in our divinity, in our trust, in our surrender. And so we have to stay in the here and now, because this is the only time we're creating. So when we're out there and we're worried about the future and we're looking for comfort and proof and evidence of what we are supposed to be in faith of, that's kind of sending that dysregulated signal that we're not in faith, we're not in surrender. And so just be careful with that. I like to know what's going on with astrology. As you know, I do the energy updates, and it has a lot to do with the space weather and the astrology, because it does make an impact. But what we, especially with astrology, have to remember is that there's always two sides to each coin. There's always a positive outcome and a negative outcome. And yes, Pluto transits and Saturn transits, they can be challenging. But they're just lessons. They're different kinds of lessons that can have a bit more of an edge to them. So we can't get too married to that outcome, too convinced or attached to the outcome that this prediction has created for us. That we have to remember that no matter what the cards say or the stars say, that ultimately our Creator is in charge. And if he, she, it, they, them can create all of this, the outcome can be changed. The outcome can be shifted, and there are multiple timelines available to us. And so when we become attached to one outcome, assuming the positive and then we get the negative, or assuming the negative and create the negative, or all the different scenarios, it's just not what we've been built for. We are built for trust and faith, connection, intuition, following the next right step. So I'll get off that one. Number 8, put reminders all over your environment. Keep that one simple. Sticky notes are awesome. Put them on your screensaver, put them on your phone, timers, reminders. There's lots of apps that you can get for positive affirmations and things of that nature. I like to have the note breathe in my environment, because sometimes I just forget to breathe. So breath work is huge. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Got to check it out. Number 9, cultivate your flow. This is going a little longer, so I'm going to move just a tad faster. Cultivate your flow. Remember what works for you. That's kind of what we had in our back pocket as far as a vibration. But remember, gratitude is the number one, first and foremost, for opening up the channels, raising your vibration, bringing you back to connection. Journaling, my favorite. Automatic writing is amazing, but know your go-tos, right? What works for you. Meditate. Learn how to meditate is huge. That people struggle with, I can't remove all thought, I can't just be still, so I'm just not going to meditate at all. Meditation can be so fun when you learn how to connect. And when you're in the habit, when you've been offered enough tips and tricks to really truly strengthen your connection and start to wield some of the gifts and the powers, the term powers doesn't quite feel right, but there is an infinite source of the ultimate power that flows through you, especially in meditation. It can be so fun and almost addictive, right? Like, I just don't want to stop. Hour and a half of meditation, I'm like, I still could keep going. So learn how to meditate. There's lots of tips and tricks on how to do it in a very fun way. And I probably will make a video on that for you. Yay! Remember to surrender into faith and trust. If you haven't noticed, very strong theme, surrender into faith and trust. That is the key to having a good life and enjoying life and not feeling all the stress and pressures of the world. Number 10, get out in nature, see a sunrise, see a sunset. Really look at those things that remind us of how beautiful this life is and the abundance that's available to us. And what an awesome, cool gift it is to be here and to be in this place. And if you don't feel like it's an awesome, cool gift, I can show you how, I promise. And I have seen the evidence in my clients. I've seen the evidence in my own life. I am absolutely 1,000% certain, as long as you're willing to do the work, I can show you how. So, number 11, this is it. Maintain your energy is different than just raising your vibration and staying connected, but healing your energy, learning how to heal your energy is really, really critical. Things like Reiki and learning how to use the magic that's in you and how to wash your body over and how to command healing from your creator, from source energy. It's all available to you. Dig into learning about energy healing. There's so much more about that, and I can certainly do a video in the future, but that is number 11. Yay! We have so much fun to look forward to. Always being connected is awesome, and remaining in that place of pure divine love and guidance and surrender and freedom. We don't have to fight this battle alone. It's so amazing. So yes, I look forward to being here for you. If you need any help with any of these, I have, like I said, seen the evidence and I know how to help you. So there is a link below for a coaching application to see if we're a good fit for each other or if there's even open spots right now. So I love you all. Have a good year. Have fun staying connected, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, my loves.